Opening the meeting.
At 2:28,
Okay.
we're gonna commence and start the meeting. So I move that we begin. Can I get a motion?
Second it.
Motion.
And seconded.
Second it.
All right. Madam President, the floor is yours.
I think you gonna say that. Okay, so we really missed our secretary from last.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try because I didn't take notes. I'll just tell you right now. We had 1, 2, and this is where he was talking about getting people to show up. We
Right.
only had 7 people in attendance last month.
And 2 of those are visitors.
Yeah, 2 were visitors. It was myself, Mr. Vice President, Mr. LZ, Freddie Jackson, Marcus Maxwell, Ahmad Henderson, who spoke, Alberto Maneres, and Erica Carter, who is a student of Mr. LZ. So we were missing a lot of people. And Ahmad got up and spoke about his business. He helps repair credit. And it was very informative. Unfortunately, Marcus was here to tape it. I don't think he's posted it yet. But Marcus is gone
Yeah,
on vacation for a while.
yeah, for a while.
So he probably won't be back. He's not coming back to the end of the month, I believe. So he'll be here for the next meeting. You said no?
I don't think so.
Huh, that ain't what he told us. But
We
anyway,
gonna see.
we'll see. He was throwing me off. Okay, so Ahmad was talking about his credit repair company. He's also going to be getting into the lending part of it as well. So he not only helps rebuild your credit if you need help building your credit, but he'll start the process with help trying to get you funded. So that was one of the things he talked about. I wish Marcus could have posted that video.
Did you talk about, I'm sorry, did you talk about building up your credit for, not to,
Your business credit?
yeah,
Personal and business.
Personal and business.
the business too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So what else? Because we had a short meeting.
It was real
It
short.
was short last week because we did not have that many people here.
Right.
So therefore there was not a lot to talk about. I was the meeting ended about 3 something, and we didn't start till like 2:30, and we ended it was basically an hour meeting. But that's kind of all there was from last week as far as what was discussed. But so let's talk about what's going on now. I'm going to address this, and then Ms. Freddie has a speaker that's going to come and talk. This paper that you see that says SIP Southside Investors Partnership, these are all the people, and if I miss somebody, let me know. Or if you want to be taken off, let me know. Of the people that said that they were interested in being a part of the parent company. So if your name is on here and you didn't mean to have it on here, let me know. If it's not on here, then let me know. Okay, but as it stands, I think it's like 15, 14 months. It's 17 people on here. So once we get everything together, because I need to get an office address in order to file. So if somebody has a business address that we can use, I'd appreciate it. Let me know so that I can put it on here. I don't want to use my home address. I need to get a business address. You know, if you all have a virtual that maybe we can share for the time being just to get registered, that would be great. Let me know. But other than that, everything will be split 17 ways. Whatever it is that we do as a parent company is going to be split 17 ways. So the fee, that's $400, is going to be split by 17 people. When we open up a bank account, whatever amount we have to have the minimum of, it's going to be shared among 17 people. So if you have any questions about it, let me know. You can always email me, text me, however you wanna reach out, WhatsApp me, whatever. But that's what this sheet is for. That's what this is. That's all this is. It's just information. I'm gonna let the speaker come up and speak before we talk about the other two, items that were left on the tables. So, Freddie, if you wanna come and introduce your speaker.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
I,
evening. Good afternoon.
Met RJ at a real estate investor meeting over in Indiana, that network, once a month. I like investors like to have other options when they're doing business. You know, RJ has a title company out in Palos, so he's gonna talk more about it. That you know, when I met him, he's a pretty genuine individual. So even though he do a lot of investors, so I'm gonna do business with him. So we met at the investor meeting. We got to talking. So we networked pretty good. I present that he's a nice individual in his company. I talked to several people in his office, so probably good people need to meet and do business with. So, thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me here today.
Thank you for
I'm
coming.
RJ. I'm over from At Home Title Services. I'm the VP of Sales over there. So I'm usually working with everybody that's onboarding them, educating you guys a little bit about like how we do things and whatnot. So like we work with brokers, realtors, investors to become title agents. So when you guys become a title agent, you can manage your deal, have more clear communication as well as control when you're working with your deals. And when you become a title agent with us, you have the potential of increasing your earning potential anywhere from like $2,000 to $5,000 plus, depending on the value of your sales. You don't necessarily have to become a title agent with us. You can use us for escrow and whatnot, but the benefits of becoming a registered title agent is you get 85% of the owner's policy. With that, you can actually negotiate that with your client. Anything below the rate that you got from us. You get that clear communication as well as control when you're going through the closing, so nothing really fumbles at the end. We provide you top-of-the-line software that helps you do the title work. And title work doesn't take you hours, days, weeks to do. It's pretty quick. It takes about an hour to an hour and a half to actually do the work with the software that we provide you. And everybody in our office is actually double-checking your work, making sure that nothing fumbles. You know what I mean? So that's just a little bit about us. And we're located in Palos Hills. We close anywhere. We have preferred attorneys that we work with that speak Polish, English, Spanish. So we're pretty well versed, and we have a pretty good team over there. So inside of your folders, you'll see there's an agent intake form off to the left. I can pick it up from you guys today if you guys want to fill it out before I leave, or you guys can scan it and send it to me by email. There's my business card in the folder. There's some more information about like the rates and such, and there's a compensation plan that you're going to see like towards the back. Kind of looks like this. It says silver, bronze, gold, and platinum. Depending on your amount of sales that you've had before joining our team. Let's just say that you start at silver, right? You have 21 deals. You get the 85% of the owner's policy plus the 485 plus that $200. Does it make sense with like how compensation works?
Can I back you up a little bit?
Yeah.
You totally lost me. I guess I wasn't here last week, so I don't know if everybody knows something that I missed out on. So you're with a title company that will get an investor set up to be their own title agent.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, and so you're telling us how we can do that.
Yes.
That's fabulous.
It's really cool.
Is there a minimum amount of deals that you have to have per month or year?
We have some agents that have never actually sold a deal, so they want to come with us and then use us for the title when they have their first deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and no certain criteria or?
you can't be late on child support payments, I know.
Wow, okay.
That's
a big
pretty
deal,
much it, but it's, you can't be late on child support because we go through IDFPR.
Yeah,
You know?
I know what that is.
Yeah. And we work with AmTrust, their underwriter, and something also I forgot to highlight is that we also insure you with E&O insurance, as well as the title, as well as our underwriters are insuring you when you're doing your title work,
You know, is what?
in Michigan.
Arizona.
Oh, errors and omissions, E&O, he's, I'm like, E&O, okay,
What did I say?
E-N-O.
I am so sorry.
That's okay, that's
Yeah.
okay. And, so, this is pretty cool.
It's
And
really
so
cool.
it's really a way that you can build another business on the side of your existing business as well, or you can just close your own deals if that's what you wanna do.
Well, if you think about like traditional way of like how title works, you give it off to the lawyer goes to the title company. You're just taking out, I'm not saying you're taking out the middleman, but you're kind of eliminating the middleman, because what he's doing is just collecting the fees from the title that he gives off to the title company for not really doing that much work. But when you're actually doing the work, you're putting in like name, address, seller, the
Right,
buyer.
and, yeah, the forms are all, were already made up, they're all templates.
Yeah.
So, there's no law or anything against if that is your property, not being able to, be the title agent on your own property, nothing against
It's
that
fully legal. It's-
currently?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
how we do it. Yeah.
I'm a notary, so,
Yeah, we're
That's-
about to ask about that. So
Yeah.
you need to be a notary
yeah.
to be part of it.
So there's people, like I'm also a notary as well, so like we do it normally at closing. But I feel like you can't necessarily notarize your own deal.
Right, you can't notarize your own deal. So I'm really interested, I'll talk to you off table for that.
So let me see if I understand this correctly. So I have a property that's on the market right now. And if I want to, once the buyer comes in, instead of going to my regular title company, I can actually underwrite it myself and close it through your,
You can even use this for escrow.
for escrow.
Yeah. And like even like right now after we talk, like I'll give you $1,000 off like your next deal. Okay. So like even if you don't necessarily, if you're not approved title agent just yet, you can even use this for escrow as well.
Cool.
That's a win-win.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
have
those fees are
a
about
mobile
$2 out the
notary.
box, so that's a
So
way
that
to.
I have a
save
mobile,
those fees.
I'm not a notary.
Yeah.
And since you just stated that I cannot,
You don't have to be a notary.
notarize my.
You don't have to be.
I can use the notary that I have to sit beside me and
Even you can come over to the office if you want,
sign all the
and
documents.
we could do it for you. I can do it for you. Just tell me where you're at.
You guys, I'm a notary too, if you guys need somebody to notarize your documents,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a notary license that I
Now,
never
here's
use,
my-
but
here's
we
my
need to get it
question-
together.
Here's my question to you two, and this is assessment.
Yeah.
You two are notaries. Did you put that in your bio?
No.
No, I forgot to put that in there. And it's time for me to renew it too. So yeah.
You two can go to time out.
Yeah, and you're right, we should be.
So I need to make sure
Same
everything's
here.
in good standing.
Have it and haven't used it.
Compensation plan.
I have used, but I haven't been using recently. It's been a long
We
time.
need to get that
So
together.
you see how it says closed qualifications at on the very right? So like right now, like how many deals do you have? Like how many deals have you done in like the last 12 months?
In the last 12 months, only 2.
Okay, that's okay. So like let's just say that you had 21, right?
Uh-huh.
What plan would you fall in if you had 22 sales?
22 sales?
Silver.
Silver. So what I was pretty much saying was, where were you at with your sales in the last 12 months where you come into the plan? So let's say if you have 22 sales, you get 85% of the owner's policy, plus that $485, plus the $200. Does that make sense? So you're getting 85% of the owner's policy plus $685.
What is that?
Wait a minute. Can you go over this with us again? I just found mine, I'm so sorry.
Don't be, it's all
So
good.
this part here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like this compensation plan is just pretty much like putting you in a category of like sales when you're coming onto our team to do title work.
Right.
And so like let's say you have 33 sales, right? You'd be on the gold plan, right? So you'd collect everything, so the 85% of the owner's policy plus $485 plus the $200 from the silver plan. plus the $200 from the gold plan. So you're gonna get $485 plus 200, which is $685, plus another 200, which is $885, plus the 85% of the owner's policy. And the owner's policy is pretty much the value of the home. If you look at this chart, and it's gonna show you a breakdown of all the sales prices, anywhere from $200,000 or less, all the way to $990 plus, right? And it's gonna show you here on the next page. Oops.
Can
That
you-
was here. It showed,
Can you explain this chart to us a little
Yeah, I can
clearer,
definitely.
please?
Yeah. Look for this one with the blue chart.
Yeah, I got it. I
Oh,
just
perfect.
don't understand it.
I had the wrong one I had. So you're gonna see there's the sales price of the property, right?
Yeah.
And it shows from 2,000 to $1 million. You look at the full rate, 85% is what you got at that rate.
Oh, okay.
And then 15% goes to us.
You get it?
So if it's 200,000 or less, this is
The rate,
85%.
85% is what you get.
Oh, this
This
is,
is what they
That's-
fee.
that
oh,
goes to
okay,
us.
okay, I got it, I got it, okay.
That's what you got. And that 85% is what you could actually negotiate to have your clients work with you on the title. So like, let's say it's like a friend, right? And you're working with a house that's 220,000. The full rate of that would be 210, 2,000, yeah, 210. And then you get 85% of that, so you get the 1,709. You could you could say to your client, hey, I'll give it to you for $1,400 if you let me do the title for you. Does that make sense? You can negotiate that 85% anywhere below the rate that's there
So,
to get the client to work with you.
is this a new thing that's happening in Chicago, in Illinois or something?
So 3 years ago, we came into the industry, and this is something that's always been there, but we've just pretty much brought it to light. Realtors don't necessarily do title work. Well, not anymore. They do title work now, but the traditional way of doing it, they weren't really handling much of the title. So we brought it up, saying, hey, like realtors, educating, letting them know you could actually do title work while you're doing your sale. And does that make sense?
A whole lot of sense.
Yes,
And no
It does.
licensing required.
We have software that we provide to you, and everything is free that we do. So like, there's no sign-up fees or anything like that. Yeah, it's really good software. It's solid
My mortgage.
Is there any
You want anyone to do it in a
certification
minute?
saying
There
this
is.
is,
You only wanna
this
do
is, you know what I'm
deals.
saying, for a buyer or seller to say, hey, they're legit, or, you know what I'm saying? Cause you ultimately become a title company.
We are a title company, yeah.
I'm talking about, I would
The
become,
individual.
Yeah, you'd be a part of the title company, yeah. We also do refinances as well. So like right now, I'm working on refinancing, learning the process. So even if you guys need some refis, we could work with you on that.
There you look.
he was here.
And also, another little thing, a little bit off topic, with at-home title services. I'm also an interior designer. I'm going back to school for my architecture, my master's in architecture, applying to the Art Institute. So
That's
if
wonderful, it's
anyone
fun.
needs anything, I'll give you a good rate.
Okay,
Really good rates.
that's good.
Yeah, like, be happy to help.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, RJ, yes. Oh, this is good info
Thank you
here.
for having me. It was really nice meeting you all.
And you got your card and stuff in here?
Yeah,
I see
you
it.
are.
Is it a
RJ, I see it.
If
We
you guys,
will be contacting you, sir.
you
Yes.
should. We'd love for
No doubt.
This is what you do
Yes,
without
sir.
networking, see?
It's
Yes.
a really
That's
good way of
fabulous.
making more
Thanks,
money,
Freddie.
especially these hard times, you know,
Yeah.
and like the sales may not all be there, but like this gives you some sort of leverage in between sales and such. you know?
Yes.
But it's like an hour to an hour and a
I
half.
just
of work.
looked at one of my,
Wonderful.
loved ones this morning.
So what is the requirements when you sign on with you guys as far as?
Just bring your deals as you come.
No fee or anything to start
There's
up?
nothing. So like on that frame page right here with like the owner's, the rate card says 2023. It shows you the breakdown, right, of closing and escrow fees and everything like that on the second page. And I could also send this. I could send it to you, Freddie, or if you want me to send it to you, I could give you everything digital as well. If you want to throw it inside of your groups and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah. But this will show you pretty much all the fees that it comes when like you're working with a client for closing. It's pretty much typical amongst the market. It may be a couple dollars less just to keep it competitive, but we'll work with you on whatever you want to do. Just we'll do whatever. We can provide
Okay.
white clothes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What's the best time today to reach you, Tom?
Anytime.
We're calling you in the morning, so get your rest today.
Seriously,
Yeah.
hit me up. I'm around. Happy to work with you all, and just let me know what you need, and I'll be there to help you.
Okay.
Wonderful,
Thank you so much.
wonderful.
Oh,
Thank
one last
you.
thing. Is this just for the state of Illinois? What about other
Just in-
states?
Just Illinois for right
Just
now.
Illinois,
We're
okay.
thinking about expanding, but right now we're just focusing on Illinois and just
Okay.
toning down the market here first.
Okay,
Thank you guys.
awesome.
Thank you.
Wonderful. RJ, thank you. Thank you for coming.
I'm RJ.
RJ and RJ. That's right.
Okay, so thank you. That was very informative.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
So on the table, there were 2 sets of listings.
Yes.
One was for Roseland, I think it's 4 pages, and the West Pullman is like 2 pages.
Is this the original one, or you, same one you gave us a long time
No,
ago?
this is
A new one?
current.
Okay.
These are current.
Okay,
And I only had enough to set one on each table.
okay.
Yeah, you gonna take that. So what I did was I put in the same criteria. I went to Roseland, put a cap on to 150,000. You might need to share with Angelique.
She flipping through something. What you looking for it?
Yeah, share.
No, I
yeah,
was looking
Angelique, let
for
her
the
see.
sign-in
Okay.
sheet.
So
Okay, I don't.
what I did was I looked at because I don't want to use up all the ink in my printer, so I just printed the face sheet. I did look at the pictures that they had in the MLS, if they had any of these properties. What I tried to do was pick mostly brick houses.
Yeah.
There may be some frames in there, but if it's a frame house, the interior looked decent enough to the point where there would be minimal work. You wouldn't have to put a whole lot into it. The max price point was 150. I think the highest one I have on there is like 149 or something. It might be a 150 in there. But for the most part, these look like something we could probably deal with quickly and not be holding on them for too long, because I know before when I did that list, I just did 150. I printed up everything that was 150 or less within the Roseland or the West Pullman area. Had the same amount for both sides, but if you really looked at the insides of them, they were dilapidated to the point of you're talking about a full gut. I did see one that was like already demoed, but then I thought about it and I'm like, well, you know, even though it's nothing, but everything has been taken out, that's a lot of money when you're talking about having to drywall every single piece of the house. Drywall's not cheap. It's one thing to patch and repair drywall, it's another thing to put up whole walls throughout the whole house. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So when I saw that, I was like, nope, I'm not gonna bring that in, because unless somebody really wants to take that on, that wouldn't be really cost effective for what it is that we want to do. So if you all want to take a deeper look at these properties, you can go on to Redfin or whatever it is that you use, and look at the pictures that have been provided. If for some reason you want to go and see the property physically, let me know and I'll set something up, because what we were talking about earlier, what I'm going to do is sign a contract with myself as the buyer, and then I can go with you to the property without you having to sign a buyer's agreement. Because as it stands, anybody that wants to go see a property has to sign a buyer's agreement. So if I sign it and I'm the buyer, you know, that's fine.
So we suggest we just drop by first before we see it.
If you want to see the outside, just drive,
Just
you know,
drive by.
do a drive-by, that's
Drive by,
fine.
yeah.
You know, so you can check out the neighborhood
Right.
or whatever, you know, and you don't need to have, you know, everybody, I know before with the first set, you all were trying to coordinate. And
Yeah, I went and looked at a bunch of them.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, did you? And they were kind of like,
Yeah, I made marks, I just didn't bring my folder, I made
Okay.
marks on the.
So yeah, I know, but before you all were trying to coordinate when to go
Yeah,
out
we
there
were,
and
yeah.
take a look around or whatever. Well, if you don't really need to coordinate anything, if you wanna go out and look at it, just check it out yourself,
drive by.
that's fine, just drive by. You can always say, well, look, I went by, and you put it in WhatsApp. I went by such and such a place. It's too many people standing around in the neighborhood, you know, it's a lot of people hanging around the corners, you know, you can just give us your observation of the neighborhood or what you saw of the property, and then we'll take, you know, we'll take that into consideration. I mean, because everybody has their own outlook, you know, she could go by, see one thing, maybe the next day, it might not be that way, you know, so, if you wanna go by as a drive-by, go ahead and do that. If you wanna see the actual inside of the property, let me know, we can set something up.
Just what's the deadline, you think we should go ahead and do some get no, that's really.
I mean, those I printed up yesterday, so those are what are in the MLS as of yesterday, and they're active.
Yeah, okay.
They're all active. None of them are contingent. They're not temporarily no showings. I just pulled up anything that was active in the MLS under 150,000. I tried to stick with all brick properties. Like I said, I think the majority of them are brick. There may be a few frames, but if it is a frame property, from what I saw from the pictures in the MLS, it didn't look like it needed a lot of work. I mean, pictures sometimes can be deceiving.
Right.
And that's why you
Yeah.
need to go and see for yourself visually.
Yeah.
You know, because I've seen a lot of places and I'm like, man, that looks really nice. It don't look like it needs a lot of work. And then you get inside
Yeah.
and you start
Floor
seeing everything.
sloping.
Exactly. Because they're only gonna post, I mean, you can only judge by what's been posted. You don't know what else is going on because they're not posting every single part of that house. They're only gonna highlight certain areas. But what I've seen on these particular places, it didn't look like much. So if you all look at it and say, hey, let's go look at this, and then I'll be like, okay, what day and what time? My days, you know, my hours are very flexible. If you tell me you wanna go see it, I'll check my calendar. Right now, I'm kinda open. And then I'll be like, okay, let's go, we can go on this particular day. We can go between these hours. The only times, I'll just tell you right now that I usually am not available is at 10 o'clock on a Thursday. After 11 o'clock on a Thursday, I'm good.
Okay.
And then I'm not available this Saturday. But, other than that, if you wanna go see the property, let me know. You wanna go tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, we good. Just let me know what time you wanna go. Like I said, I'm going to sign a contract with myself as the buyer, and as long as I'm there, it's no problem.
How we handle, what about this short sale, how we handle those?
I mean, it still will be a short sale.
Yeah.
I mean, you still dealing, I mean, you wanna put in an offer, I mean, it doesn't stop us from going to see the property.
Okay,
A short sale, because one of them, I believe, says pre-foreclosure.
I see the short sale, that means
That's
that,
cool.
that means that they have their own acquisition doing it, or we can put it in the short sale, put off in the short sale.
You can put in an offer regardless. They have their, it's a short sale that they've put on the MLS, and they probably have their own attorney and the bank is doing whatever as far as the short sale is concerned. You might put your offer
Yeah,
in.
it still gotta go through the
It's-
bank.
Right, it still gotta go through
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
regardless.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright, I'm gonna take a look at this.
yeah. So, y'all wanna go run out, look at them real quick, fine, and then you say, hey, can we go take a look at the inside of this property? As long as, you know, it doesn't say like, if it's got like a 24-hour notice or something. Cause I also tried to find ones that didn't have anybody in them. Cause I did find some that had month-to-month tenants, or they may have had a tenant in. I'm like, I don't even feel like being bothered with that.
Right.
You know, because that's a lot of hassle.
Yeah.
So, I believe most of those, I think the majority of them, if not all of them, don't have anybody in them.
And most of us here are experienced with performing your due diligence and knowing how to arrive at your maximum allowable offer.
Yeah.
So it's important that you do that prior to getting in touch with her to actually go see the property, because the only thing you really need to do, once you actually pinpoint which property that you're going to look at, is to determine, you know, how much you want to put into it.
Yeah, what's the rehab cost?
Exactly. So,
Okay.
you guys are well,
Good point.
yeah, you guys are well versed on that part. That's why I wanna make sure that you don't waste her. Only, you know, target a property that you intend to actually execute on. You know, because once you wanna go inside and see what your rehab estimates might be. So that won't be a waste of time, because you've already determined what your ARV is and what your Mayo is going to be. The only thing you need to do is determine what your rehab cost is, and whether or not it's feasible for that project.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the first property that's on there, give me the MLS. I didn't print it. So let's go with the West one. Let's start with the West one. So, what I'm gonna do, I know y'all can't really see this, so this is the first one that's in West Pullman.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a short sale. Yeah, that's one of the short sale.
And it looked like it's empty? Was that an empty house?
I don't
Oh,
know.
no. Okay, it got a renter in it, I think.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it supposedly, I think it's, yeah, this is the short sale,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and, yeah, it's got a month-to-month person, but it's saying possession is immediate. I don't know if the person will be out, with it being a short sale, they gotta go.
We still got the eviction.
Right,
Not
so
necessarily.
this is, right, I mean, well, you can't purchase it and fix it
put
up,
them out.
right.
You got either get cash and keys.
This
or-
would, or you can either do cash for keys,
Yeah.
or if you wanna keep them as a renter, if you're doing this as a buy and hold, depending on what they're paying.
Right.
If nothing really needs to be done to the
Absolutely.
place, then you would just take it as a turnkey property and continue to collect money. So one of the things we would need to know on this particular property, even though it's a short sale, what is the, rent roll?
Yeah.
You know, are they paying on time?
no, they not paying on time, sure sale.
Well, no, not necessarily, not
owner probably just ain't
necessarily,
paying on it.
because if I own the property and I have a renter, maybe I'm not paying the
Right.
mortgage.
Yeah, it might
That's
be the owner.
correct.
Yeah, 'cause he ain't
I know
collecting no
somebody,
rent.
and I know somebody in that same situation. No, they've been paying. Like I know a friend of mine called me and said they need to find a place. So they told me what happened. They had they in a condo. They've been paying their mortgage every month, but the owner of the condo was not paying the mortgage. So now they have to go. They have to find a place of their own. I've known people in that situation where they were paying their rent every month to the landlord, but the landlord didn't pay the mortgage. So now the bank is saying, oh, we taking this place. So if whoever's in there, they got to go. So it's not that the tenant wasn't paying the mortgage, maybe the owner wasn't paying the mortgage. I mean, not the tenant was not paying their rent, maybe the owner wasn't paying the mortgage. Because some people, now I'll tell you, when I went to the 3-day conference with Andrew one time, they lent some money to this person who was supposed to be rehabbing a place. They took the money and went to Vegas.
Wow.
So you don't know what the person is doing with the money that they got to take care of the place. It could be any number of situations.
I have purchased properties, I have personally purchased properties in that same situation, where I would go back, if the person had a tenant, the owner wasn't paying the mortgage, and they were about to foreclose on that property. I went in, reinstated the mortgage, you know, and the person who was being foreclosed on still was on the mortgage, but they signed over a deed to me that I owned the property, and I allowed the tenant to stay in the property as long as they would be willing to pay the current rent and that just resolved the whole problem, the whole situation.
Okay.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. He got his credit saved, I got the house, the tenant get to stay without relocating.
So this is the next one that's on the
What's
list.
the address?
It's 244 West 117th Street. Now, this is a frame, and this is supposedly a good rental.
244?
Yeah, 244 West 117th Street. So when I looked at this, I'm like, okay, it's a frame, but the pictures look decent. See, this is the first picture I saw.
That's surprising,
Yeah.
based on the concept.
Looks nice. Actually.
So now this looks like, okay, it may need some work here on this wall, but that may be minimal work. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to pick something that looked decent on the inside, whether it looked decent on the outside or not. I mean, cause you can always just re-side a house if it needs siding, and it may not be a whole lot, or maybe it just needs to be cleaned up or whatever. You know, maybe just some pieces need to be replaced. You know, but if the inside looks halfway decent, I'm like, I mean, look at that kitchen. You know, it's not a bad looking house, and they're asking $104,999. Now, do we have to put in an offer for $104,999? No, we don't. So, and the taxes, even though it says the taxes are only $412, somebody probably got a senior tax rate or a disability or something, cause I don't know, anybody's taxes, I don't care where you at, is $400 and you don't have any exemptions. It says
that's
none
not
on
gonna
here,
work.
but I don't believe that.
That's gonna go up.
Yeah, that's not accurate. To me, that's not accurate. But that's what I'm saying. You can go to Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com, put in these numbers, and see the interior of what I saw, where I made the decision to say, okay, these are kind of halfway decent. Probably don't have to put in, but maybe anywhere between 15 to 25,000, and make a profit. Whether you buy and hold it, which would probably be a good deal in the Roseland area or the West Pullman. Either way, I think it's going to be a win-win. Like this one, this first one on Roseland, you see it's down to 119. It started at 159. So now, but it's got a renter in it. It says yes, month to month. But it says possession at closing. The question is the person gonna be there when they close, or do we have to put them out? What's going on with the property? Those are questions we, need the answers to. Are they paying the rent? What's going on? Are they consistent with paying the rent? Those are things we want to know if there is somebody in there. But when I looked at the pictures on the inside of the house, it looked decent. So for those that don't have this, like Marsha, I can email you.
And then I can print it, okay,
Yeah.
that's good, thank you, Dawn.
Can I email, because I didn't keep a copy for myself either.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. I'll email you and Angelique a copy
Okay.
of all of these.
Okay.
So that you all can take a look at them. But the rest of you all, you have a copy. And then what you can do is, if you're interested in them, let me know, based on, because you drove the neighborhood, or you went and looked at the pictures online, and say, oh, well, you know what, that don't look like it need a whole lot of work. We can take it from there. It was a lot easier for me to narrow down. This is only 15 properties. Before it was like 28 properties each or 38 properties each. That was a lot. And then as I looked at some of those, just like Michelle was like, she went out and she rolled around and they were like, When I started looking at the inside of, because it was like 27, I think, in Roseland when I first did it. And out of the 27 properties, I only found 5 that really were kind of maybe putting some money into. Because the rest of them were so in such bad condition.
Yeah, they need bad work outside.
Yeah, it would need
inside.
work outside as well as inside, and we're not trying to put a whole lot of money into it, because you're not going to get a whole lot back if you put too much into it. So I meant to print up the, what houses have been selling for in that area, and I can bring that up right now. Hold on, I can, bring up,
160 acres.
For the West Pool?
200 range, it all depends on what side. You own in Michigan, I think.
okay, so, market view.
You saying the west side of Michigan, east side of Michigan is probably gonna be over there?
No, the east side property don't deal with the west side.
Okay, so right now in Roseland, the median sales for July, cause they haven't gotten to August yet, the median sales for July is 165,550. The average sales is 171, 965. That's the average sales.
That's a Roseland?
Yeah, in Roseland.
What
It says
about,
the percent of original list price received is 97, which means, whatever you listed it for, 97% of those houses sold for what they were originally listed for.
Wow.
what
So
about,
that's not bad.
what about West Pullman, what's the
I'm
other?
getting ready to tell you that.
Oh, okay.
And that was just Roseland here?
Yeah, that was just Roseland, West Pullman.
West Pool should be picking up that momentum now, on the pool itself.
West
Yeah, I thought so too.
Well, it's not really.
Really?
No. West Pullman's median sales for July in 2024 is 165. The average sales is 163, and the percent of original list price received is 95. So, even with them, it's still about the same, but it's looking like maybe in West Pullman, they've had to adjust their prices from what they've originally listed them at for, more than Roseland. The average market time is 80 days for West Pullman, and the average market time for Roseland is 107. So it's taking longer to sell a house in Roseland than it is to sell a house in West Pullman.
What do those stats really mean anything, cause I looked at all that before.
Well, it's only the information from what's in the MLS. It doesn't take into account anything that's sold outside of the MLS. It's only picking up from
Yeah,
what's
cause
in
I
the
looked
MLS.
at the area I'm at right now, and they said 45 days, and I've been way over 45 days.
Did you say 180 days?
No, 80 days for West Pullman,
Oh, okay.
107 days, for Roseland.
Oh, okay.
Last year, in July, it was only 98 days for
Yeah.
Roseland and 71 days for West Pullman. So it's taken longer. In a year's time, it's taken longer to sell the houses. They've been on the market longer.
But you're really going into these areas to do buy and hold. I don't think the
Yeah, I
profit
think,
comes out of
I honestly think that for these areas, you would do best to be a whole, buy and hold, and just cash flow on. I think, I don't know, that, as far as sales are concerned, I think you would do better to buy and hold them for a little while to recoup your money. And then, when you're ahead of the game a little bit, and then start it all over.
So how would we do that as a group? If we're purchasing these homes as a group through the SIP partnership, how would we hold the, how would that work?
Well, I think we had talked about that before. What would happen is, you would have to refi. You would have to refi and buy out your other
Oh,
partners.
I see.
Partners.
Because otherwise you're splitting the cash flow up
the rent.
every month.
Right.
Whether you wanna do it monthly, or you could be like, okay, every quarter, we'll split everything up.
Okay.
Or every 6 months, semi-annually, we're gonna take whatever the cash flow is and then split it up amongst the 4 entities.
There are a lot of factors that have to be included in that, because who's doing the maintenance, who's paying the utilities.
Yeah.
If there's the furnace goes out, who's responsible for that?
Right.
Right, so when you have more hands involved, it's a little
It's
more
too
difficult,
much,
and
yeah,
that's
it's
why
too
we
much.
said, cause I think that was one of the questions
Yeah.
that was asked in the beginning, how would you do that? And the answer is, you would have to buy out your other partners. So if it's only 3 of y'all that got in on it, then the one person that wants to hold on to it would refi and buy out the other 2 partners. And it's only, so if you bought it for 100, you put in 20, you sold it for 200, minus all the fees and everything, you're probably looking at about 60,000. 120, so that's like 80, and then you got closing costs and all of that stuff. So you're talking about maybe another 10, so that's 60 to 70,000 that will be split amongst the 3. So let's say 60, so that's 3/6 for each of y'all, 30,000 for each of you all. You probably wouldn't see the 30,000, you'd have to pay them each 30,000, and then you would leave that 30,000 there as being stuck into the property. You would leave that equity there, because you never know, you may need it another time. To pull it out, then my suggestion is put it in the bank, just in case something goes wrong with the house.
But the lender's not gonna loan you 100%
Right, so
anyway.
they're not gonna loan you 100% anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
You're only gonna get 75 to 80% or something like that.
So you gotta factor that in when you're negotiating with your partners.
Right.
As going in, because at a later date, that's gonna be a challenge trying to get them to agree to accept,
Right.
a percentage of what they've invested and what
So
they.
you would discuss that before you got into the deal with them.
Absolutely.
Look, I wanna do this as a
Buy and hold.
buy and hold, but I still need some people to come in with me. Can you, do that? Then you all will work out the negotiations. We, as the parent company, we step back and we say, that's something you all make the decision on. Because we're not here.
Joint venture agreement,
Yeah, basically.
JV,
Yeah,
make sure the JV agreement.
because we can't tell you how to set up your agreement
With your partner.
with your partners. Right, that's a decision, because every agreement is gonna be different. Based on, what you're expecting out of them. So, but let me know, and we'll move forward from there with these particular properties. Or if it's something else that you all see, let me know. And then,
And bring it to the group.
Okay.
That's
That's
very
Sounds
wise
good.
to do.
absolutely.
I mean,
Because with
we
the
are,
more eyes on something, the better solution you get.
we're all connected through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no reason that we should not be communicating through WhatsApp. I mean, you can say, well, I don't have a phone number, okay, but you got WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I get people messaging me all the time through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
If you don't wanna do it within the group, you can message me outside of the group, because I'm still connected through WhatsApp. So if you wanna say, look, I wanna go see this property, and it has nothing to do with Roseland or West Pullman, let me know. Because I signed an agreement with myself, they ain't gotta know that I'm taking somebody else to go and see this property.
Right.
All they know as an investor, I'm going to see it, I'm still a broker, but I'm also an investor. I want, because I'm gonna be wanting to buy properties too. So usually when it's my property, I waive my commission. That way I don't have to pay taxes, and I'm still getting something out of it. So, that's kind of the catch right there that you can kind of get over on, with the buyer's agreement and me. I just put it like that. Because I may not be the one buying it, but they don't know that. Because I'm taking you all out.
See,
And you all don't have to each individually sign an agreement with me. Just if you want to purchase it, that's a different story. Then you sign the agreement.
Yeah. All right.
But just to go and see it, no, I'm not gonna say, okay, y'all need to each sign an agreement with me and say, da-da-da to this. So,
and that's another reason why I'm saying it's very important for everybody to show up. There's a lot of questions that people don't understand on how all of this stuff works. Especially when we get to the parent and children's corporations. And I'm all for that, because we have an example that it works. And if anybody needs to, to see what the examples are, that this program works, and if it does work, we can show them that example.
Any questions? I'll send, like I said, I need to send this to Angelique and Marcia.
Has anybody spoken, you talking to, Madam Treasurer?
Yeah, anybody talk to April?
Yes, I did. She had a family event earlier today. And so she was like, if she do come, she'll be late, but I'm not sure if she will not.
Let's touch base with her this week.
Okay, yeah, I'll reach out to her.
And I'll try to reach out to some of the other members and see if I can inspire them to attend more consistently.
Or we can find out what they need to have them interested, where it becomes more important that they attend, you know, what is it that you need from the group? Because I feel like we give fabulous information, but they might have something else that they're more interested in, you know?
And
We
plus,
need to find out what people are interested in.
this is summertime, so a lot of people is on
Summertime.
vacation, holidays and stuff.
There's a lot of
Cause
events
last week,
happening
yeah,
right now.
a lot of events.
I might
Cause
be
last
on
month,
vacation
I was
next
on
week.
vacation,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
That's
we
why I
did
missed
have
last
more,
time.
we
More
did,
people on vacation.
to speak to that, we did have more involvement when we first started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I
during the
think
winter
when it gets
months
cold,
and the,
yeah.
in the spring, and people started dropping off in the summertime, so maybe they'll pick back up, you know, next month after, you know. But we'll see.
We'll reach out and find out.
That sounds good.
You know, something you said too is really valuable, actually, too. People want to go to things that they find value into.
Right?
So, I'm not sure how to word it, but people will show up when they can see themselves getting a
Something
prize
out
or
of it.
something, or some type of something in something, and they'll show up.
Well, they have to start taking action.
Maybe
Yeah, well, I see a lot of value in these.
we do, but that we don't know what they want.
Well, then take
That's what I
action.
said. I do too. I see a lot of value, but we don't know what other people feel like they need. So maybe we need to send out something and ask, what would they like to get from the
That's true. That
group?
makes sense.
You know, what would you, maybe we do some type of a survey.
But that's
Hopefully
why I
they'll
was
fill that out.
I was emphasizing the fact that we shouldn't allow funding or your lack of funding to prevent you.
That's a big deal right there, what you said.
A huge
That's
deal.
people are
That's a huge
people are so far in their head about stuff, like money. I can't go out. They'll say to themselves, "I don't have money, so I'm not gonna go." That's what they do.
And pride.
That's just what it is.
Pride too, because
I think it's that they don't know, because I feel like, I just told them, I've kind of stepped back from trying to buy houses because I feel like the rates are high. I think it's just a lack of knowledge. I feel like the rates are high, people are not buying. I've seen these ladies have a problem selling their places, so it kind of scared me. Because I need to flip properties to develop some cash flow. I don't have a lot of money. So it's kind of made me, I stepped into something else. I'm still
that's
interested.
exactly why.
That's why we need to talk. Yeah, because I called Jessica, tell you, I called Jessica last month and said, can we start working together every day? I need some help. I don't know what to do. I don't know what my next steps are. And when I tried to get the group together to go look at houses, we could not get our schedules together. So then I'm like, okay, this is too much work. Everybody's too busy. Everybody's got things going on. And us all, including myself, us trying to get our schedules together is like almost impossible. So then I thought, okay, I better step back until I can get enough money for myself to do it by myself.
Right there, yeah.
That was my mindset.
Here's the catch-22 on that. On the properties that she just identified
Yeah,
today,
yeah,
you can individually go look at one of these.
Right.
And if you, once you do your due diligence and you want to submit an offer, do that.
yeah.
And then come back to Angelique or R. James or Michelle or myself and say, hey, I put this property under contract, but I don't know what I'm doing. Can you guys guide me through this?
Yeah.
And I don't have any money. Can you guys contribute to this?
Yeah,
So we can take this down together.
yeah.
That's perfect.
And
Yeah.
I promise you, is anybody, who else would give Marcia a hand in here?
Yeah,
Can you see this?
yeah,
I think that what you point to, and which is essentially a gift. If you took that on for yourself,
yeah,
you have a deal. You have a deal close by Friday.
Yes.
People want to, when they see you doing it, they say, oh, it's a good deal, and then, okay, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Kind of thing, so
Yes.
that's a good thing, just, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. Don't worry about the money part.
And so some other members, the point I was making is some other members could be feeling that as well.
Most of them.
Because, yeah, because I have experience and I'm feeling that. So imagine the people who don't have
Yeah,
experience,
some
what
of
they're
All you gotta
feeling.
do is identify a
Yeah.
property.
Cause I feel like I'm
We'll
so,
guide you
Yeah.
through it and help you with the funding. Cause, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to WhatsApp, but I put a lot of
you
content.
have, yes, you
in,
have, yes, you have.
You know, to help people with funding, and if you notice the cap and the t-shirt that I'm wearing,
Yeah.
I
Backflip.
recommended Backflip.
And they follow up with you saying, do you have any deals?
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
They start following up with you
Yeah.
now.
And they funded my deal
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
Wow.
I went from application to closing in 2 weeks.
What is their criteria? Is it, I mean, how long it take for them with the paperwork?
He said 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from application to
That's
C to C.
Freddie, if you just go and create an account, they'll start contacting you, saying, do you have any deals you'd like for us to take a look at?
What are their credit score have to be like?
What's your credit criteria?
No, what's your credit score have to be? What's the minimum?
650, I believe. 650.
I'm gonna use my own people.
If you got somebody,
Oh, your
if
credit score
you
that
got
low?
somebody can do
Somebody
it,
do
Liz?
lower than that?
Yeah, really, come on, give it up. Yeah,
You got somebody doing lower than 60, 50?
well, I'd rather use my own people.
You just, because you have a relationship with them. I thought she was talking
Yeah, I
about
would
lower than
It's
that.
no, right?
Or
And
you
their-
don't go by
their
your
interest rates.
business,
Exactly.
it's
And
not
once
your
you
credit
close-
score. That's what I'm looking for.
That's what I'll close my next deal with Backflip.
Okay.
Because
I heard
once
you.
once you are affiliated with them and you already in the system, now they did that in 2 weeks. I could probably do it in 5 days.
Because we got all your info.
Because they already have the
Okay,
same
check this
thing with
out.
Freedom. I can call, was that Vince?
Yeah, Alex.
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 I
Yeah,
can
he's
call
fast.
Alex right now and close a deal with Alex because I got Vince, Alex, and my people over there.
Oh.
3 lenders.
Check this out.
3 lenders.
How much you have to, what they give you loan to value? How much they give you, 90%, 80%?
80%
80%.
on my Maryland, on the Vanderpool. Now Vanderpool was a $375,000 purchase.
Okay,
We have a $50,000 initial budget,
yes.
and they funded the entire. This is Backflip now. They funded the entire rehab cost, and gave me 70 to 80% loan to value.
Yeah, they have reserve.
With a beautiful interest rate.
Okay.
Because of the track record.
Right, track record too.
Yeah,
That's
you-
true.
you
Because
do
of the
that track
You
record.
gotta have a track record.
You gotta have a
beautiful track record.
That's, yeah, but
You
I'm
got a
still
beautiful
getting
track
people,
record.
I'm trying to go back to the people I've used before, because I would think that I've done deals with them
Deals, yeah.
before, that
Yeah,
I would
right.
get a better rate. But I'm still not finding that. A lot of people telling me I still need over 10 properties and all this, and I was like,
no,
I
no,
said, I know I can find something better than that, because I've heard people
With
say
your
it.
track record, Michelle, Backflip would love to do business with you. Love
Yeah,
to
I'm
do
already a member with them, so like I said, I haven't reached out to Backflip because I didn't know they do the refinance part. but
Freedom, the one that's
Freedom
in,
Cap.
Freedom Capital Shoes.
Freedom Capital, there's another one. They have beautiful terms and conditions with Freedom.
Is this your first
Hey,
time
you know
using
what?
Backflip?
My very first
Next time
time
you
when
wanna
they
deal,
funded,
give me a call.
because they saw, as long as you have a decent,
We'll send people out.
and most of my track
see, give you the best offer.
record were wholesale deals. You hear what I said? Wholesale, they were not fix and flips. But I could use the HUD ones as the settlement sheets as proof of concept.
Right.
My name was right there on the HUD one. They said, okay, we can use that. Not a problem. It's a wholesale.
I missed
Yeah.
what you just said. Can you repeat that?
Absolutely. For a track record, I didn't do a lot of, I'm on my 4th fix and flip. But initially, everything I was doing was wholesaling. I would put a property under contract and sell it off to one of you guys. But I had a HUD one that would show that I'm involved in the transaction.
Yeah, cause you still have to do the close.
I had to do the closing.
Right.
And my name was down there to get paid, so as long as the, and Backflip says, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even though you did not get the loan, here's your name on the HUD one.
Yeah.
right.
So we can use that, we can count that as a track record.
Oh,
Say,
okay.
now we talking.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yes,
What did you say again? I'm sorry.
my wholesale deals
Oh, your
were
wholesale.
credited as a track record to show that I've had completed transactions.
And a lot of times they tell you if you're wholesaling, you
Doesn't
can't
count,
use it,
right.
it doesn't count.
Right.
Because
I
there's
see, I didn't
nothing-
know, I didn't get
That's
his
what I
point, okay,
heard.
thank you
They
for
pay money to
pointing
get
that
track
out,
record.
okay.
But as long as you're on the HUD one, was Alex the same
Yeah,
way?
yeah.
Alex
I
did
got
me.
Yeah.
something where you
Yeah.
go, I got my name on the hood, but I ain't getting no, I didn't get it going with the loan with them. So, yeah, I can use
You
those.
count it
Something
counts
like
towards
that.
your track
You have
record.
zero, track record.
They'll still do a loan with you.
You just want to have that,
Your rates are just.
Your rates
Be a
will
little
be
bit higher.
higher, your down payment will be, much higher.
right,
But they will close because it's a matter of risk.
right.
They wanna ensure that if you wanna work with us, that you, so no
That's how all
trouble.
I'd
of
like
these
to
are.
learn how to,
Yeah.
I'd like to learn how to wholesale some deals. How can we get some
Are you talking
information?
locally or virtual?
I mean, no,
Both?
I'm actually.
Oh, you're talking to Freddie?
How
okay.
many, how many deals you like to do a month?
How many do I actually do
No, how
and
many
close
do you-
per month? On the wholesale side, anywhere from 7 to 10. On the fix and flip side, I try to do those locally. I'm in the middle of 4 right now.
What was your question?
I'd like to learn how to wholesale, and I was wondering, what do you recommend as to how we can get some training and how we can learn how to do that?
This man can answer that.
Right there, R. James.
Jerry Norton.
Jerry Norton.
I do with
Who's
you.
that?
Jerry Norton is a guy who will take you step by step by step.
I took his class, I got his books, if you want any of his books, I can give them to you.
And he'll take it.
Jerry Norton.
And he has videos.
I got all his
Yeah.
material.
There's one other guy too.
But
Zachary.
these are people you have
Who?
to pay a fee.
Zach-
I even got
Yeah.
Clever Investor.
What is these,
Zachary
one of these
again.
$10,000 fee people that you get to attend their classes?
And what's
That-
that other one? He
but
don't
he has-
change his name.
But he
Uh,
has wholesale step by step.
Oh.
He has different classes, but I find him to be the most simplest
Yes.
video to watch and to apply to work.
Probably would
It's
be
really,
good.
it's really
Well,
simple.
the
I got
biggest
all
challenge
those.
that I see when somebody's trying to get into, because I stumbled at first too, to be honest with you, is implementation.
Yeah.
You've got to implement, and don't be afraid to pick up. Well, this is gonna be your greatest tool right here.
Mm-hmm,
This is your greatest tool, biggest tool. This and this.
right, your computers, yeah.
Well, first of all, also, you gotta know how to talk to, the homeowner. You gotta know how to talk to a homeowner.
Yeah, practice your scripts.
You gotta know how to talk to a homeowner. If you don't know how to talk to a homeowner, you're not gonna get it. They gonna send the phone out on you, you gotta say to them, they're mad.
'Cause my biggest asset is I'm a problem solver. That's me. You looking at a problem solver. If you got a situation, I promise you 9 times out of 10 I have a solution for it. And that's what I am not counting the money yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yet.
you're helping the people. You go in and helping people,
That's my
and then the money will come.
Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. And that's from California all the way to New York.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I'm is. But that's what it's, but to answer your question though, Marcia,
Yes,
to know how to get started, Jerry Norton and Zach, again, that's Ginn. And Zach and his dad, they have
Yeah.
free stuff.
They got
Free stuff.
ZAC.
Free is good.
Can't beat that price.
Can't beat that price.
And they walk you through the whole process of wholesaling. Now, I train individuals too, and my fee is we split the wholesale fee.
No, okay. I started to call you, but I was like, oh, you didn't answer my call.
What?
I tried to
Stop.
call you when I first got in this
Just
group
trade
and you
them,
didn't
then
call
you
me
go
back,
through
so
the
that's where I
process,
got that
whatever
from.
is made off of that,
Oh,
then
so
that's,
split.
you can't beat that, especially if we don't have upfront money to pay for the training, or you have limited funds.
There are, you see, that's what these, you know, and I
Get
get,
the phone.
pick up my
I'm
phone.
calling you now.
I
Get
get
my
it.
point?
Yeah, I do,
Okay,
I
good.
do. But to answer your question, Lawrence, what was your thought, the fee structure?
Yeah, the fee structure.
No, I do not charge an upfront fee. But the only way that I would begin charging an individual is I give them an assignment and they don't show any accountability.
Keep
Or they
on
don't
coming back.
implement any of the things that I ask them to do. Cause I'm not gonna be wasting my time.
Right, right.
If I'm showing you what to do, giving you instructions, and then you're not coming back with any results.
Yeah.
Then we gotta start, we gotta renegotiate. Got to renegotiate. Cause I just led, I mean, what was that, 6 to 8 months ago, I led our James to Jerry Norton.
Yeah. Oh, he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while.
But he wasn't
What's
aware.
name bought his, let's see, I think he bought his house. What's the guy, the sub two guy? What's he
Hayes
bought?
Morgan.
It's
Yeah,
J-E-R-R-Y.
he bought Jerry Norton's house, the big house he had. So he bought it on the contract.
Norton.
Yeah, Jerry Norton wholesale.
But that's who I would recommend. Those two guys,
I see.
Zach Ginn, G-I-N-N.
Him and
and
his
Jerry
father.
Norton.
Yeah, they've been around for a while.
Those guys are
Free stuff.
free stuff.
They walk you through
Zach Ginn and his dad, they do free stuff. You ain't gotta worry about buying nothing unless you enroll in their program, then they'll charge for skip tracing and stuff like that. But as far as, implementation of their programs, no.
They got free, they got free, too, they took it free.
Yeah, they get, I mean, everybody has free script, even I have a free script.
Oh, look
No,
at
no,
you. Look at you.
What did he say?
She's all over it.
Oh.
Thank you.
Welcome.
In the phone, flip chat. I mean,
And what's
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
What you send me on?
Okay. All right. Yep. That's what we post.
Oh, yeah.
Business, finance,
Hands
real
on.
estate.
Hands on.
Okay.
Oh.
Good job.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Angelique,
Cool, man.
she is a
There
she needs to be the secretary. She's fabulous.
You doing
She's
that?
fabulous secretary.
I love being behind the scenes. I'll pump y'all up for behind the scenes. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
Okay, exactly.
Oh, him and his dad.
Okay.
Dad, trust me when I tell you, if you follow, start from the beginning, and I promise you, if you really just follow, by the time we meet next month, hell, you might be sitting up here.
Are you talking to who? You talking to?
You.
Oh. I will tell you in advance. I won't be ready next month because I'm committed to something else. But I am going to start reading this.
How is the wholesaling market at this point? How considering the cost of the properties now and interest rates?
No, I have nothing to do with this.
This is, I mean, they've always said, especially last year, they always tell you that now is the best time for trust me. And I'm talking again, I'm telling you, from California all the way to New York, now is the best time. Because once the interest rates drop, and prices
gonna
start
be out.
going up,
Yeah.
right, prices start going back up again,
Right.
you're gonna be outpriced.
Right.
There's gonna be bidding wars for properties. Now you can walk into any property
Need to have it.
and you can have your way.
Be ready to be in that part of the
Remember,
big
we're
war.
wholesaling, you're not keeping it unless you really wanted it, but you're passing it on to somebody else who's gonna buy it from you. So it's what they valuing it, and do they know, well, this is how much, this is the most I'm gonna pay for it, So you got some people just like, okay, I want that house, I wanna buy it, people that just buy, and mostly they're smart enough to know, okay, this is gonna make money for me. So they know what's a good deal and what's not. All you need to do is have the people that's gonna buy the property when you get ready to, do your wholesale.
It's important. It is
I
important.
actually gotta find out how much your guy's gonna buy. You gotta leave a room and they'll make money with it. Cause he's gonna rent it out. He won't cash for it.
Absolutely. Well, in most instances, they want cash flow. Now, some of it wanted for instant profit too. Just like me, when I bought that property when we bought that property in Vanderpool,
Yeah,
the guy who sold it to me, who was a wholesaler,
right.
this guy made $75,000 as a wholesale fee.
Yeah.
$75,000.
That's
The only thing
one deal.
And the only thing he did was he signed a contract with
That's
the
fabulous.
seller, contacted me and a few other buyers. We all showed up and met at the property, and I signed a contract with him. He purchased it from the seller for $300,000. He sold it to me for $375,000. Do you think I felt like I got cheated? Absolutely not.
Excellent location, Beverly.
I put in that.
That was an excellent buy.
Yeah, it was.
Did he
Excellent buy.
how did he get that lead?
I don't know what you asked. Do I?
Right.
Look,
Right.
I'm not
No,
looking under nobody's
Right.
skirt
No,
trying to
what I'm
find
saying,
out
what I'm saying.
what
Postcard.
color panties they
No,
got.
what I'm saying, a lot of times I like to know how other investors get their leads, it's very important. Cause everybody that get their leads, cause I'm talking about pay per click, this, that, you know what I'm saying, cause they, new techniques out here, so they get to it first.
But Freddie, I mean, and I respect what you're saying, but me, I have no trouble. The fact I turn down more deals than I accept because of the fact that the lead funnels that I have, throughout from, like I said, California to New York, allows me to sit at my computer in the morning from 5:30 in the morning to 12 noon, analyze, just determine which ones are good and bad properties. And if this guy he called me with the property. I didn't seek him out. He said, look, I got this property, would you be interested? And I said, send me the address. Sent the address, I looked it up. I said, how much you asking? He said, I'm asking, no, he said $350. I think the initially was $350, but by the time the other people got involved, the price kept going up. So I said, well, the max I'm gonna pay, cause he called me and told me, saying, the price right now is at $375. That's the max we got. So I tell you what, I'll match that right now if you sign my contract. He said, well, I don't know, we might get more contract. I said, this is a limited time offer. You either sign it now. Yes. Yes. I said, sign it now and I can close on it before the end of the month. He said, okay, let me call you back. Instead of him calling me back, I got on the phone to one of my hookup guys and said, hey, I want this property. He made a phone call, and guess what?
You got the property.
Well, California, New York, people run away because the property's too high. California and New York, property's very high.
That's for that area, yes, but when you compare that to the Midwest, it's comparable.
Yeah.
It's comparable, but in like Arizona.
Arizona's pretty good. I mean, it was a hot area. It was a hot area, but not.
It was? Okay. No problem. No problem.
So glad you ain't looking over at
Thank you very much.
Well, no, I'm not saying, you got all people from California moving down there now. Everybody from California going there.
People from North Carolina are moving to Jacksonville, Florida.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So people, yeah, they moving. So once you pinpoint the areas that you want to target where the people are migrating to, does it matter, what the prices are? Because you're not going to be living there.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
And that's what I love about these properties here. These properties in West Pullman and Roseland, what are the chances of Keith Elsie moving into one of these properties?
0.
Thank you.
Yeah, but the thing about them, what if you got a buyer for it?
Huh?
What if you got a buyer for it?
Do I have
That
a...
got to do with him living there.
No, sir. No, sir. This is an investment piece of property.
Well, if you're renting out, when I found out renting property,
Cash
people
flow.
will go to an area that they are comfortable going to. That's just what it is. And I
A
have a
tenant is going to live where they are comfortable.
that man, that's just every day. Day in, day
Inglewood,
out.
because people talk about Inglewood like they got
bad
a
deal,
tick.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
No,
man,
it's up, like it was up and coming. It goes to the college over there.
I couldn't care, I hope it doesn't. I really hope it don't. I hope it stays exactly the way it is, that you can make a mint. And because there are people
Inglewood is a buy and hold area.
buy and hold, and they got 3 and 4 generations.
They do.
3 and 4 generations who grew up there and they don't want to move.
They ain't moving. They ain't moving.
And within a 2-block radius.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Cousin Louie, my
Right
uncle, my sister, and y'all say they were.
It all on everything, they know it.
They know, and everybody know everybody.
Yep. That's what they like.
Everybody, so yes, I'm telling you, so wholesaling, in order to build your cash reserve, and I'll shout this from the highest mountaintop, wholesaling is the best way to go. And then once you build your cash reserve, you can springboard from there into your buy and holds, even into commercials, if that's what you want to do. But I like my cookie cutter single families. They work for me. They were seen to work for April, they seem to work for Angelique, and they certainly work for you. We run into, every one of us have run into challenges like you're facing right now.
It's just enough to change my strategy and move on.
All you gotta do is
Yeah,
pivot.
that's all.
All you gotta do is pivot.
That's all.
Pivot to strategy.
That's all.
Well, I'll tell it, you know, and I know you're going through it. Look at what I went through with my Harvey property.
Did you get rid of it?
Yeah, I finally got rid of it, but hell,
You want to get rid of it out?
I went through hell and high water with that property. People had broken into it. They busted the window. I had to get the window replaced. They tried to steal the appliances. That property, and here we go. That property, the loan was due like in June of 2023. They had, and that was with the 3-month extension that they gave me, because it was due like in March. So in June, they wouldn't even accept any more payments from me. I couldn't go online and make any payments to keep it from going into foreclosure. They would not let me make any payments. They was like, nope, we're not giving you no extension, no more extensions. You can't, you can't. I went online to try to make a payment. It wouldn't allow me to make a payment. So now here I am stuck. I can't sell it. I don't know what I'm getting ready to do right now. So it's on the market. I got somebody that was interested in getting it, but they were gonna do a lease to own option. Well, I couldn't do that because I'm not making any payments. So I would have just been taking the money until that person was able to get financed. So I'm like, well, I can't really do that because there is no mortgage payment at this point because they won't allow me to make any payments. So I'm like, okay, so now here we sitting again. I'm still trying to market it. I think by the time I finally got, because I was at the point where they sent me, I got summoned with the pre-foreclosure and everything. I got the whole package in the mail and everything. Had a video court date and everything. And I'm like, look, I got this property listed for sale. I'm trying to sell it. I don't know, so the judge was like, okay, it was under contract, right? Soon as I had that video thing, the person who I had it under contract with backed up out of the deal. Wow. And I'm like, oh, damn, now what I'm gonna do? So I had to keep. When somebody finally busted the window, I said, you know what, I'm throwing my hands up. I said, I'm just through with this property. I said, at this point, I don't care what it's sold for. I don't care if I had to take a loss. I said, I got to get rid of this property. So June was the last time, 23 was the last time I made a payment on it. It sold at April of 24. Which kept it from hitting the foreclosure point. They did put a stop on it. But the fact that I wound up selling it for about 30 or 40,000 less than what I had originally, because I had it listed for 200, because that's what I was told I should.
So you just broke even.
Basically, yeah. I broke even. I had to take it. Whatever I could get for it just to stop the foreclosure process. Because what I didn't want was to have a foreclosure on my name, and then it's going to be even harder for me to move on to another property. Because all they want, one of the questions they ask you on any loan application is, did you have any foreclosures within the last X amount of months? And ain't like they can't find out. And the same with that Park Forest property. The loan came due. I listed it in November. The loan came due February 1st of the next year. November, you know, my issue with that property was the taxes. I knew going in, the taxes was kinda high, but I figured, you know, once you get in, you put in for the homeowner's exemption, the taxes are gonna drop. There should be no problem. Well, what I found out was, when the lenders go look at it, they don't look at the exemption or what the possible exemption is, they look at the current taxes. I had somebody who was like, we don't care that it doesn't have a garage, we really like this house, gorgeous, this. The broker calls me back and says, I forgot to look at the taxes. Let me look at the taxes. As soon as she said that, I was like, she gonna call back and say they can't do it. Because the way everybody was going FHA. And with FHA, they can say, well, yeah, you can get a house up to 250,000, but your note can only be 1,400 a month, whatever the case may be. So once you add in the taxes and insurance, if your note, even though the house is 250, or let's say it's only 220, if your note goes beyond 1,400 with the taxes and insurance, it's a dead deal. You can't do it unless you put down more money to bring that note down.
And the FHA premium is so high.
I thought they
It's so high
still,
itself.
they still got a lot of grants out there for these first time home buyers, don't they?
Yeah, they do have programs for first-time home buyers, but if it's a FHA program, they still have to follow by those guidelines. There are some programs where you don't have, like NACA. You don't have to put anything down. You don't have to pay any closing costs. You basically just have to be in the house for at least 5 years before you refinance and volunteer one day out of your each year. Okay. There are other programs. I think it's called Chenova or something like that. That they have kind of like the same thing, but I don't know that you have to volunteer one day a year for the next 5 years.
Volunteer?
Yeah, you volunteer your services. Like, let's say they have an event or whatever, and you come in and help them out at the event. Just be sit at the desk and pass out flyers, whatever.
Or just tell people about the program,
Yeah,
register
that's
people
cute.
for voting.
But
But they don't even keep track of it.
For one day out of the
Yeah,
year,
because
if
I did it
somebody told
before,
me
and
I didn't have to put any money down, I
Right.
didn't have to play any
Yeah, that's
closing
actually
costs.
cute.
For the next 5 years, all I had to do was volunteer one day out of the year. Sign me up.
Right. That's actually cute, yeah.
You got 300. You mean you can't give up one day
To tell,
to do to
pay it forward and tell other people about
Basically,
it.
that's what
Yeah.
it's about.
Yeah.
There are other things that are involved with NACA's program. You have to sit in their class.
Yeah, you do have to take class.
Right,
But they class online
They're
now.
online.
You don't even have to go.
Yeah, they're online. Yeah.
It's virtual, and all you have to do is just hit the button and fast
but when
forward.
I
Ain't like
did
your
it- I
parents
did
did
it back
it.
in 19,
Right.
you know, but I did it and I went to those classes. I didn't care because it helped me learn about home
That's-
buying.
Yes.
So
I
The
went when I
home buying
first came
process.
here because I thought I hear about all this
All that other
money.
stuff.
I didn't
I
realize I
even
was
go to
gonna be able to qualify for
CHA's
nothing.
classes now. They
But I
have.
tried.
So,
Yeah.
I appreciate the
the
class.
first three bank out of, they got the Fidelity.
It's a lot of places
Banks
that
got
have
their own programs
classes
out now.
and
Right.
But they don't
programs.
offer the same thing that NACA does.
Nike's better,
Oh, way better.
way better.
But that's
Because
only for owner occupied property.
owner occupied, up to
Right.
4 units.
Yeah, up to 4 units.
Up to
Yep.
4
And
units.
you can buy down your interest rate.
that's a deal.
Now, can you have that going on at the same time as a VA loan too, or no?
You can
Yeah.
add it in there, yes.
I mean, no, separate, like have two, but one.
No, you have to have, they expect you to not to own any other properties unless
Yes.
it's.
You're
That's
first
all.
time lender.
You gotta be a
First time
first-time
buyer.
Yeah, these are first-time buyers.
They,
Oh, no,
they
no.
want to be
No.
the first time. They
Not
want to be the
occupied
first lien
first-time
on
buyers.
loan.
But
Yeah.
first time means you haven't owned a house in the past 3 years.
That's what it is,
Right.
yeah.
That's
No.
That's right.
No,
No.
No,
you do not have to be a first time home buyer.
Oh, you don't?
No, you do not.
For
For
now.
NACA.
Okay, the
So
one
now
I
don't.
you did.
No, you
So
don't.
they've changed that program?
That's changed.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking
That's
about.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's
Really?
I didn't know that.
no.
But
But they expect for you, that
They
home
expect
that
for
you
you to live
purchased,
in.
to live in, absolutely. And they expect for you to not to own another one unless it's an entity, right? So you got
so
your
in those
entities and
entities, you
whatnot.
can't.
So if you
Yeah.
have your own property and you wanna go through NACA, the smartest thing to do is to put your property, your home, in your entity's name.
Yes.
Switch it over,
Yeah.
switch it over to your entity's name, and then you could go through NACA.
When you do that, do you
That's
know, like if you try to check your property out of a, this is a good topic for us to have too, out of personal to an entity, does the lender have, are they gonna come and balk about that? Because It has
Yeah,
nothing
how
to
did
do
that
with the
They
loan, right?
make you do on sale clause, but they don't ever challenge it. They very seldom challenge
As long as that mortgage is paid.
Long as
everything-
it's paid, right.
Because they're gonna have to
care
get,
less.
do they
Yeah.
change the note name
No,
as
No,
well?
no.
Oh, the
Everything
note is
stays
still
the
in your
same.
name, you're just
Same.
changing the deed,
Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
how
You just changing the deed, it's just like you quit claim a property.
Right, to the
property.
quick claim deed, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I was
I
telling
need
you
to make
earlier,
that-
the person who wasn't paying the mortgage, he went into default, they were filing a foreclosure on him. So I was notified that it was in foreclosure, so I contacted the owner. And I said, well, listen, what are you gonna do? I see you have a tenant in there. You know, and the tenant is worried that they're gonna be on the street. So, well, what are you proposing? Well, I'm proposing that I can reinstate that loan in exchange for a deed. If you deed me the property, I'll reinstate that loan and I'll be responsible for making the payments every month on this property. I'll let the tenant stay in and I'll own the property. You get to keep your credit rating because they didn't actually foreclose on you. And that's, everybody wins on that.
Now, the loan didn't change to his name, it
Did
stayed
not.
into that original.
That was
person's
my
name.
question,
you
you
don't-
saw this big
I saw-
question mark
I saw,
up
I saw.
Yes, the loan stayed on that person. That's why I said his credit rating was not damaged.
So it just costs you money, no
Yes,
credit.
cost me-
It costs you money, but not
It
credit.
cost me $30,000.
Right, cash, but not
Yeah,
credit. though.
to reinstate that loan because
Right.
he was so far behind
Right.
with all the interest.
And you actually cleaned up his
accrued.
credit too.
You helping that person out
Yeah,
by
you
doing
cleaned up
that,
his credit, yeah.
because
So, yes.
otherwise they would've had that ding on their credit from the
Yes.
place going into foreclosure.
Yeah,
Problem solver.
yeah. That's actually good. You
So
did tell us that story
It
before.
costs you
and I
no
forgot.
credit at all, right?
Hmm?
Your credit not touched at all.
Mine?
No, he's assuming the loan, he's like, he just.
I know.
He just making the
So
payment,
you
no,
just
it
get a
doesn't show on
note,
his credit at all.
written up. and-
No, no. I don't
Nothing
get
is in- nothing.
I get
Yeah,
the only thing that the attorneys took care of
Deed.
was recording the deed in my entity's name.
and then when you're
Okay.
ready, if so, at some point, or you can sell it or do whatever, then you refinance, cause your name is already on the deed, you don't have to do a purchase, you're just able to refinance and get it in your name if you wanna take over
If I
the
wanted
note.
to- if I wanted
If you
do
want to
interest
take
rate,
over
but
the note.
Why would I do that?
Why would he do that?
Because he got a good interest
I'm
rate.
just saying, if
Yeah.
I'm saying,
You got a
I said if,
2.7 interest
I
rate.
said
Why would I
if.
touch
Right, he
that?
got work,
I said
he probably got low interest rate anyway, so keep.
Why would I
Yeah.
touch that interest rate?
Right, yeah,
Right,
interest rate.
right.
And the person that's living there, I sat down with them, well, not really sat down, we did a Zoom. And they agreed to take care of the maintenance, repairs, all of that in their lease agreement.
Right.
Why did they do that? Because they want to buy the house eventually or something?
They wanted to
wanna
stay
stay.
there, they were good tenants,
Those were good tenants, yeah.
rent-paying tenants.
Yeah.
So they said, well, as long as you don't raise my rent, Mr. Elsie, we will be willing to stay.
Oh, okay.
And I said, okay, I'm not gonna raise it the first year because there was a decent cash flow
Yeah.
on that property. So I was fine with that.
Yeah.
I was fine, but on the second year, of course,
I'm going to increase.
I'm gonna hit you up.
You got to.
Sir, got to.
You got no choice. You do. I mean, people go, oh, no, you don't.
Right. So that's to answer that question, yes. You can get a property, subject to, that's the name of that transaction. It's a subject to transaction. You can purchase a property subject to the existing mortgage.
You gotta work on that one.
We did, yeah.
We did, but we forgot it.
Yep. If you trust me, all you gotta do is shoot me a question on WhatsApp. If there's anything you need to know as being a problem solver, just
Subject
hit
to
me
nothing
up.
but, it's subject to, it's nothing but owner finance.
What I was curious about, and I'm just trying to understand, not trying to get in your business, of course, I'm just trying to understand. Jessica, you talked about this property in Harvey, that the loan was about to become due and it became behind. How is it, when you bought, so this was an investment property, I would imagine?
Yep.
And you bought it on what, a balloon note or something, or?
No, when I purchased, I'll tell you, I'll give you the whole backstory on it. In 2019, from from October 2018 to January 2019, I bought 5 properties, all cash. Each property was $35,000 or less,
Okay.
okay? But I didn't do anything with them, cause I just bought
They
them
were
because
just
they were,
sitting out there,
right,
yeah.
and I was like, okay, what
Cause
I'm
they
gonna
were
do?
cheap, yeah.
Right. So in 2023 or 22, I started rehab.
No.
That's when I started. I held them all that time. I didn't like have on any utilities or nothing. I was just paying the taxes and that was it. I started rehab. My first one I rehabbed was in Harvey. I had 4 properties in Harvey, 1 in Dalton. The first property I sold in Harvey was rehab. I didn't have any problems with it. I got it rehab, put it on the market, it sold real quick. This particular property, 3 blocks north, on the same street, mind you, 3 of my properties in Harvey were all on the same street. They were all on Vine Avenue. One on 155th, one on 157th, one on 160th. The vast difference between each block, it was 157 was worse, the worst out of the 3, because the problem with it was when you look, there was a vacant property here, a vacant property there, okay, there was some vacant properties around, but all in all, it was still a nice block. The houses on this side of the street, which is where my house was, they were nice, you know, the lady had a corner house, then she had the middle house that I purchased, and then she had the one right next to it. She owned all 3 of them. Happened to be the ex-mayor's sister who got put out. And she gave up the middle one, for what reason, I don't know. The one to the north of me was her office. The one to the south of me, she still housed people in it. She was, had people doing rooms or something, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started working on it, the first issue was I got the loan in August. The people who were supposed to start the
So you
work,
did a cash out?
no, I did a regular I went through Finance of America and got a loan.
A purchase?
No, I had already purchased the property. All I needed was money for the rehab.
Okay.
Okay, so I went in, got the money for the rehab, closed the loan in August. Then my contractor couldn't start until October. That was problem number 1.
2 months later.
2 months later.
So now I'm paying the note. I lost 2 months. They get in October. They were gonna put windows in. Well, the weather wasn't all that great. Kind of find out there was no gas meter. So now I'm waiting on NICOR to come and put a gas meter in. They didn't get that in until January. Okay.
Oh.
I was kind of pissed about that because they were like, well, it takes so long for us to get out. You know, it all depends on the weather and this and other, because they had to dig out. They were saying, so I was like, I called in October. You all telling me you all didn't get the notification till November, and that's when your time frame started 2 weeks after I called to get this order done. And they were like, well, yeah, we just got, I'm like, you know what? It's out of my hands. What I can do about it?
Nothing you can do.
So basically, I got the loan in August. Work really didn't get started until January, and then it was super cold because I can't expect them to go into a place, work when there's no heat, because the months were bad.
Mm-hmm.
So now the place gets finished. I'm going through, I'm like, okay, this stuff needs to be done, this stuff needs to be done. I can't list it because I don't want anybody coming in and they're like, okay, this is not done, this is not done, this is not done. Because if I can see it visually, I know they can too. You know, the work wasn't where I needed it to be. So now everything is being piecemeal to get this stuff together so that I can list it and get the price that I want. So by then, the loan has come due. All they would give me was a 3-month extension on it. And I'm like, okay, it is what it is. There was nothing I could do about it. In the meantime, I had somebody, well, before they even started working on it, I had somebody change the locks on the house. so I had to get the locks changed. Somebody broke in and, they changed the lock. And this is while the house was being scheduled to, on the market. Somebody broke in. And my thought behind that was like, either the agent had something to do with it, or the person that they went with saw them put the combination in, and then they doubled back. Or they opened up the windows. They left the windows unlocked.
Right.
And then they climbed in, because I was told by the person that changed the locks that, well, I already knew the kitchen window was open, because that's how he saw that the window was open, and then the window in the basement was open when he went back. So either they left a window open, and that's why in the majority of my listings, when I list them, I put down that the agent is to follow their person around as they look through the house, because you don't know what that person that's coming in to look at that house is doing. And that's just my firsthand experience.
Right.
Because if I'm the agent and I'm standing up on the main floor and you walking out throughout the whole house, you could be doing anything. And in this case, they left the windows unlocked to come back. The only reason why they didn't get the appliances is because the appliances were too big for them to take to the through the door. And what they tried to do was take the refrigerator door off and get it out the door. They had even left, when I realized, because they broke the, and this is why the property is listed. Somebody smashed the window going into the house because it was covered by a bush. And the only reason I knew that, when I went, I saw the glass. I had to backtrack. That's when I switched over to a Sentry Lock so I could keep track of who was coming in and out of the property. When I backtracked to the person that last was supposed to have seen the property, I asked them, I said, well, were you able to show the property? And she said, no. And I said, well, why not? She said, because the person they were showing it to saw the broken glass and they didn't want to go in. I'm like, okay. But as an agent, why would you call me or message me and let me know that this is what happened?
Right.
You know what? That's just common courtesy to me.
Right.
Because I've seen it happen. I went to show a property and the screen door was off the hinge. I called the agent right then and there, and I'm like, did you know that I said that the key wasn't there. The lockbox wasn't there. I'm like, there's no lockbox here, and your screen door is off the hinge. He was like, well, can you send me a picture? So I sent it. He said, somebody must have broke in. I don't know what's going on. I'll let you know. Come to find out, somebody did break in, and they stole some appliance or whatever out the property. But as an agent, if something's wrong, you should let that other agent know what's going on.
Right.
Because if I go somewhere and I see it's a window broken or whatever, I'm going to let that agent know, look, this is what's going on. One time I smelled gas. I contacted them right away. I'm like, look, I smell gas. You know, you might want to go check it out. Okay? But that's just me. Everybody doesn't do that. So once I found out, because I had one like on a Thursday, they were there on Tuesday. So I'm like, okay, I called the police. They were like, okay, you know, why don't these people just get a job? Yeah, well, that's my feeling. They had taken the microwave off. They attempted to take it off of the wall. They had pulled the stove away, and the refrigerator was pulled out with one of the doors off. And at that point, I was like, you know what, I'm done. Because in order to get them in, they had to take the door off. That's the only way that the appliances got in, and the doors for the refrigerator were not on. And at that point, I was like, you know what, I'm not getting ready to get 200. I had already dropped it down to 190. I said, you know what, it got listed for $159.9. Because at that point, I was like, I don't care what it's listed for, as long as whatever it's listed for, I can pay off this loan, pay all the closing fees, and walk away. I don't care if I had got $2,000 out the deal. I just didn't care at that point. I was my hands were stunk up. I needed this loan paid off at any cost. Because with the fees and everything that he just put up, my loan went from 101 to 120 something. In that little short period of time. Because not only do they charge you interest, they have their own fees for being in default, and that was like about $5,000 or $6,000. Yeah. So I just was, you know, you sometimes, yes, you're going to run into these issues. I don't think it's any investor that has been able to invest and not run into any
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
problem whatsoever. And it's just, how strong are you, you know, how thick is your skin that you can continue on? Cause there are some people that, they probably would've went through that and be like, you know what, I'm done, I'm tired, I'm not gonna do this anymore, I got time to be bothered. I still have my rental in Dalton. Yes, the first person I put in there to rent it, they kinda demolished, well, they didn't
Right.
demolish.
Yeah.
They didn't keep it clean, I'll put it like that. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I was ready to sell it. Cause that was my way of getting her out of the place. I told them like, look, I'm not renewing your lease. I sent her a 60-day notice. I'm not renewing your lease. I'm, you know, thinking about selling the property. I'm not renewing your lease. Bottom line. She was supposed to be gone by the 1st of March. Well, she got her notice in January. She stopped paying rent.
Right.
Okay, she stopped paying rent. I'm like, okay, what can I do? It's boom COVID. I can't throw her out. You know, I can't throw her out. So what I'm gonna do? So she stopped paying rent. She didn't move on the 1st of March. She didn't move to the 16th. I go to the Dalton Village. She ain't paid her water bill, so now I got a $300 water bill that I got to take care of because it's my property.
Yeah, I've been through that.
And it's like, okay, do I give up? Do I, you know, sell it and just say, forget it, I'm not gonna be bothered anymore? No, because I still have a passion for real estate, you know, and when it's something that you enjoy doing, regardless of the highs and the lows, you push through. You know, you just push through it and be like, okay, things to get better. They gotta get better. They can't get any worse. How much worse can they get? You know, I just look at it like,
They can
how
always
much-
get worse.
How much worse can it get? I mean,
Jessica, that's easy. You know, at 1622 North Laramie, my property finally got dead in the back of it.
Wow.
Finally got what?
1622
a
North
dead.
Laramie.
All right, listen, we gotta,
Yeah, it's time to start.
we gotta adjourn.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Second.
All right.
It's 4:09.